Hey everyone, I think we're live now. Corey just tapped me, that means we're live. So welcome back to another live stream on the Blind to Billionaire YouTube channel. I'm Matt,
I'm Corey.
and you probably already know us because you see us all the time. Thanks again for your support, we appreciate it. So today we're going to be talking about some of the anxieties and challenges of a social gathering for blind people. So today is December 26th, yesterday was Christmas. And we thought, you know what, this would probably be a good topic to talk about today, since yesterday we were at a kind of a fairly big family gathering for Christmas at my parents' house. There were about 33 people, I think I counted, at probably the busiest time. So we thought, you know what, it'd be interesting to talk through it and kind of talk through some of the challenges that I have in these types of gatherings.
Hi, Andrew. It's Wrench Rage.
Hey,
Hello,
Andrew.
my friends.
Nice to see you.
It's so awesome that you're here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's been a while since we've talked or seen you around.
He says greetings from California. Greetings
very
from
cool.
Minnesota. It's
Greetings.
cold here, except I think it's going to rain tomorrow, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like rain and snow. Oh, Marwan says, hello, how
Hello,
are you, Matt
Marwan.
and Corey? Merry Christmas, guys. Wish you always beautiful days ahead.
Thanks,
Thank you, Marwan.
That's so nice of you. Thank you.
This is great.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks, guys, for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Andrew said it's been a while. I know, I feel like we haven't talked to
Yeah.
you in so long.
Yep.
You know, so it'll be nice to catch up.
Yeah, time just goes by so quick, and it's like we've been so busy, and it's like we need to do a live stream, but it's like...
I know,
So-
the weeks have gone by really fast lately.
Yeah. So we're glad to be here doing another live stream, so this is cool.
Yeah, and we're excited to hear if you guys want to share anything about how your holidays were or anything, your weekends, whatever, just like totally like let us know. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's awesome
definitely.
to hear from everyone.
If you have any comments or questions, or you want to let us know or share how your holiday went, let us know. We'd love to hear about it.
Wrench Rage wrote, I'd be wearing a bear suit to your area. You would be, and then
Yeah.
that would be awesome. I actually have like piglet suits, like they're like
Pajamas.
like pajamas. It's like a fuzzy pajamas, like with your feet involved and your you know, a hood.
Right.
So I look like Piglet, you know, from Disney. So
Good job.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd fit right in.
She wears that around.
I do.
Yeah.
It's pretty cute.
So the topic, like I said, some of the anxieties and challenges
Oh,
of a social
Rizwan's here
gathering.
too, really
Rizwan.
quick. Rizwan!
Hey,
we
great to see
never
you.
get to see you live like this. Awesome.
Great to see you, Rizwan. So Rizwan is actually in India for anybody else watching. So I actually, Rizwan, just a real quick note, I asked our Alexa just like 20 minutes ago what time it is in Mumbai, because I was curious what time it is over there to see if you would possibly be watching. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's
this
like
is awesome.
9 something in the morning there, 9:40ish or so, or
Yeah.
9:30. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
this works out perfectly.
Thanks for
I'm
being
so
here,
excited.
Rizwan. Nice to see you again.
And Wrench Rage also wrote greetings everyone on this chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. We love
Thanks.
hearing from you guys.
Yeah, very cool. So we don't really have a script on this video. We thought we'd just kind of just talk through how it was yesterday at the gathering, but I'd really be interested to hear from all of you as well. Do you have anxiety, or do you kind of fear, or do you have challenges when you go to these social gatherings, or do you do pretty well? From the few people I've talked to about this topic, it seems like a lot of us kind of struggle. And I don't know if it's more my personality, or if it's if it's just like a situational anxiety that I get in these things. But so yesterday was all people. The whole gathering was people like my family, people that I've known my whole life: aunts, uncles, cousins, my parents, nieces. So obviously people that I've literally known my entire life. But these types of gatherings, I still have a really hard time with, and I would say probably my biggest challenge during these events is it's like I feel like I can't act like myself. I can't be myself. I mostly just kind of stand off to the side and let people come to me. And then when they come to me, some people will come to me, will approach me and say like, hey, it's, whoever, they'll say their name and when they approach. Or some people will just come up and start talking to me. And I have to kind of work quickly to think like, okay, who's that voice? Recognize the voice, and then kind of go with the conversation from there. So sometimes when I don't see these people all that often, so some of the people I see maybe like once a year, or maybe not even every year. And then some of the people I see a little more often, but I would say on average, most of the people I see probably like 1 to 3 times per year. Wouldn't you say that's probably accurate?
Yeah, I would say there's probably like a handful of people you see like monthly, and then
Yeah.
pretty much everybody else is like, yeah, kind of in
Rarely.
that like 1 to 3 times a year category.
Right.
Also, just cutting in, Tiffany says, "Greetings from Kentucky. Hope you had a Merry Christmas."
Oh, hey,
Hi,
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Great to see you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
And Rentridge also wrote, "Absolutely do feel anxiety and uneasy feeling around crowded areas, malls, amusement parks. You're not alone, bro."
Thanks, Andrew.
That's, I mean,
I appreciate the feedback.
it's nice to like hear that, like, I think it's less isolating in a way, like during these big social events, for Matt to know that other people, like, obviously we don't want other people to feel uncomfortable in big group events, but just the idea that
Yeah.
like Matt feeling that way, it makes him feel less alone, I would think, to
Yeah,
know
exactly.
that like other people like kind of have that same issue.
Like, I would never want somebody to feel the way that I feel during these events, just because it's uncomfortable. I want to be out walking around, talking to my family, talking to the people that I've literally grown up with, but it's challenging for me. Like, I literally don't move unless somebody's like guiding me around. So
It's so
that's-
hard because there's like kids, dogs, chairs,
and it's loud.
everybody, you know, if you have a glass of wine, and then it's
Yeah.
like Danger City.
And it's very loud. So
Oh
one
yeah,
of
that makes
one
it
of the
hard.
times when I see my uncles, usually it starts with like a handshake or something like that. Well, I was reaching out to shake my uncle's hand one time, and he was holding a glass of wine. I didn't see it. I hit his hand, and he spilled wine all over. So
But that
it's like,
didn't happen yesterday.
it didn't happen yesterday, but it actually happened last Christmas. So that's just one example where it's like, ugh, one of those situations. What was I talking about when you? Do you remember? I don't remember where I was
I'm
going.
not sure
Okay.
exactly. Well, I think you were just talking about the day and just like how people come to you.
Oh yeah, so I usually just park kind of off to the side and let people come to me. And then when I hear their voice, I need to kind of act quickly to determine who that voice is coming from. And a lot of the times I can figure it out pretty quickly, but sometimes I just don't recognize the voice and I don't know who it is. So I'm not really listening to what they're saying, but rather I'm trying to figure out who the voice is. So it's distracting and it can be kind of difficult. So I thought today's video would be pretty interesting if I put myself out there and just show you guys that, hey, this is difficult for me and I have some anxiety going into these things. And just hopefully I can be supportive to everybody else here, just to show you like you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. If you want to talk about it, feel free to send me a comment or question or anything like that. But I thought just me opening up on this video might help other people too. Do you have any input?
No, but Andrew Rentridge does. With me in that situation, I don't have much to talk about because the others, like the men, talk about work and other manly things, and I don't have anything to share.
Yeah.
You know, actually, Matt, I feel like you kind of feel that way sometimes. Like if people are like, "So, like, what's new?"
Yeah. So
And that's like
that was
your
awkward.
worst thing.
That was really awkward. That's a really good point, Andrew. So yesterday we were sitting at the table. There were, like I said, there were about 33 of us. So there were actually like 4 different tables where people were eating. And the table we were at, I think there were like 8 people. Well, one of my cousins was there who I see like once every, I don't know, 2 years, maybe, like once every few years at most. And he was sitting 2 chairs down and he kind of leaned over and was like, "Hey, Matt, what's going on? Like, what's new with you?" And I didn't even know what to say. I just kind of sat there and was like, nothing. I don't know. Like, I really didn't know what to say. And then Corey nudged me and she's like, "Well, you could tell him about your interview with the news station a couple days ago." So I told him that story, which took about a minute and a half or maybe 2 minutes. And then I just kind of faded out of the conversation because I didn't know what to say. That question makes me really uncomfortable when people ask, like, "What have you been up to?" Because realistically, unfortunately, not much.
And like sometimes like, I don't know, like kind of obscure, like, "Oh, how's like work stuff?" Or like,
Yeah.
like essentially like every conversation I feel like that you don't want to talk about is what
Comes up.
people talk about. Like so like it'll be like either like, "So like how's like work going?" Or like, "Hey, are you guys gonna have
Yeah.
kids sometime soon?"
Right.
And it's like, well, no to any of those things. Like,
Yeah.
this is personal. Live Accessible.
Oh, hey, Carrie.
Yep, she's here.
Nice to see you.
Hey, Matt and Corey and everyone. Nice to see you, Carrie. It's so nice you could join.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
So we're just kind of sharing about like how our holiday went, like if
Mm-hmm.
social situations are hard. I think with Matt's family, I'm getting a little more used to everyone. I mean, I feel like I know everybody except that one cousin. That one cousin who I only see like, you know, every couple. I've only met him one other time. And so like kind of names and stuff, it's one of those things where it's like I try and be really quick to like tell Matt, like for me to say like, "Oh, hi Anna. Like nice to see you." And then Matt can like know it's Anna. But I feel like sometimes I'm not like quick enough kind of with the name draw. Or like I'll sort of blank and then that's really awkward. Or like what we do at parties is we'll like be kind of in our area and I'll tell Matt what's going on around him. Or like who's like, he'll be like, well, who's in the basement now? And so like I went, people are probably watching potentially, this is awkward, but like I went around the group to like tell you who was there, but like some people's names, like I forgot somebody's wife's name, so I just like skipped over her. But like the husband of the wife was standing there, and I'm sure he just thought, "What the heck?"
Well, not only that, so
it's just like stuff like that's so awkward.
He was standing right in front of us. He's actually my cousin, and Corey's like, so Ken is here, Dennis is there, Kay's there, and she kind of stopped at him, and he's like, Kyle?
Yeah,
he was like 3 feet in front of us.
I
it was kind of funny,
like
actually.
Idiot. But you know what? Part of me is like, who cares? Like, honestly, I see the guy like twice a year. He's so nice.
He's funny.
And that's the thing, like, he's so nice, and I feel like I get he and his brother's names mixed up, and for the life of me, I just, like, was struggling, so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess, like, it's okay to be vulnerable and be like, you know what? Yeah, I kind of blanked in your name. Sorry about that. Like, I'll just tell you, like, I feel kind of like I'm being rude.
Yeah.
It's an accident.
You know, something else I think I should point out, too, is, so yesterday so some of the cousins were sitting around kind of playing some games after we ate and played a different game, which I'll talk about in a little while. But we were all kind of sitting around playing some of the guys were playing games, or all the cousins anyway. And there were some, like, there were, you know, when people talk, they were kind of being funny and making different hand gestures, or my brother was about to say something dirty, and my niece was sitting there, so he quick plugged her ears before he said it. But the point I'm getting at is that all these like hand gestures and motions and facial expressions, and like when my brother plugged my niece's ears before he said something, like I didn't see any of that stuff. So everybody's laughing and like having a good time, and I'm just kind of standing there. I'm feeling like I'm left out because like the punchline is already done, and it's something visual that someone had to see in order to like catch on to like the funny part. Meanwhile, everybody's laughing and having such like a fun time. Meanwhile, I'm just standing there feeling like, oh, I didn't hear anything that was funny. Like, what happened? So that makes me feel really bad. Like, there's nothing I can do about it, but it makes me feel bad because I feel left out of the conversation when all of my cousins are sitting there, like all kids I grew up with, and we have such a fun time together. And I feel like I can't even contribute to the conversation because I feel like I'm left out.
Yeah.
And then Corey will tell me like, oh, you know, Derek plugged Lucia's ears, or this other cousin did this funny gesture with his hands when he was telling the story. And you had to be able to see it in order for it to be like kind of funny.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to read some comments.
Okay.
But I think everybody's like really agreeing with you. And also, like Andrew has some interesting things kind of brought up too, along with that. So let's see here. Marvin said, for me, I always be by myself in the corner. I don't like a lot of people. I don't like a lot of people inside one room. It makes me so uncomfortable. And then I'm just reading the comments so that Matt can hear. So then Rent Rage wrote Live Accessible Greetings. Live Accessible wrote hi there to Andrew. And then Andrew wrote, what really bugs the junk out of me is when the men go outside to do something and you can get up to offer to help and they stop you because they think you aren't able to help. Oh, this is like Matt's. I'm going to keep reading and then Matt's going to comment on that because Matt actually feels like this essentially like all the time. Then Carrie wrote, oh, I never know who is who. I just say hi to everyone, either whisper to someone, who is that? Or if it is if it's a comfortable atmosphere, I say, who is that again? Who is this again? Juan wrote, JC5 Productions, Juan.
Oh, hey, Juan.
He wrote, hey there.
Good to see you.
People are saying hello to each other. And then Rizwan wrote, all of us face the same situation. And Andrew wrote, if you understand what I'm trying to say here, we totally understand what you're saying. Matt, like, literally totally understands. Really quick, Marvin wrote, oh, sorry, Matt. And everyone agrees with Andrew, like they totally get it. And then Tiffany wrote, you're not alone. Large groups of people can be stressful, especially people you're not around very often.
Yeah, exactly.
So, talk about that situation for you, because this happens, like, honestly.
So
some people like
exactly.
my dad does this actually to Matt a little bit.
Uh,
I don't
I
think
wasn't
he's
going to point
watching.
anybody out, but
I am, because
but
it happens, and it's like I shouldn't even say that, but it happens.
yeah. So first of all, thanks to
I probably
everybody
shouldn't
for
say
making
that.
all the comments. I really appreciate just your feedback and sharing your experiences too. But yeah, just to digress from kind of the story a little bit from yesterday. But anyway, so like Andrew, getting to your point, as far as like all the guys are going out doing something, or just anybody in general asking for help. I feel like I've been put in that situation so many times where it's like someone clearly needs help and I'm like, "Hey, pick me. I'll help, I'll help." And they're like, "No, you don't need to help. Like, no, really, trust me, I don't need help." And then literally like a breath later, that same person is asking somebody else to go and help. And it just it really hurts me actually.
It happens like all the time, and it's not
Yeah.
just like one person. It's like
A
every
lot of people.
single person.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
really
and
hurtful
you know what?
actually.
And sometimes it's probably me,
Well, not necessarily you, but
but it could be.
it's just a really awkward situation. It's like, you're right, I can't see all that well, or like pretty much at all, but I can still like use my hands, and I know how to do things. Like I'm not a complete idiot. I know how to do things.
Like he
So
can help move a couch, or he
yeah,
can help like essentially do every single thing.
yeah. So I might just need a little bit of guidance on like where to go, or like what to hold, or what to do. But other than that, I'm pretty capable. I feel like I am anyway.
Well, it's kind of like, and again, I'm digressing a tiny bit, but like, so when Matt and I first started dating, and you want to be like polite and stuff, and he would ask, like, he would offer to like get like water for me out of the fridge, or like to carry all of our beach bags. And at first I thought like, oh, like he doesn't have to do that. Like I don't want to make him carry all of our junk. And then I thought, you know what? Like this is something that Matt can do, because like he couldn't necessarily drive us to the beach, but he can carry our bags. He can like
Hmm.
get me a water. So like I guess
Yeah.
at the time I felt like the stuff that he can do, like I should have
Hmm.
him do that. And it wasn't like I was trying. I mean, do you remember that? Or
Yeah.
I
Now I carry all of our stuff.
I know, because if I say I can do it, then
Yeah.
Zeke hears everything.
Right.
But I feel like that's the thing, though. It's like if there's something you can do and you offer to help, it's not because you're
Hmm.
like you want to do what you can do.
Yeah.
And Carrie wrote, I think Pablo feels the same way a lot of the time.
Hmm.
It's hard. I can't speak to it from personal experience, but it's hard to watch kind of Matt go through that, and then it's easy for me to like just be like, oh Matt, I'll just clean the kitchen up because,
Hmm.
and then it's like, no, like if Matt's offering to help do the dishes, like
Hmm.
I should let him because I need the help and he wants to help.
Yeah.
Marwin wrote, yeah, like last time, you was so great removing the carpet of the office site with your father, even better than that person can see you well.
Hmm.
You know what? Matt does remove carpet better. I mean, like he's great at so many things. And Andrew wrote, let the disabled help you. Disabled does not mean helpless or broken.
Yeah, exactly.
It is true.
Hmm. That's so true.
Because just because you need help in one area, like I can't lift a couch,
Hmm.
but Matt can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Thanks for the comments, guys. And
This
Marwan,
is
to your
awesome, you
point, I
guys.
agree. And the thing about my dad, the cool thing about working with him is that, he's known me obviously my whole life, and we work together a lot. So he knows what I'm capable of. He knows that I struggle like traveling between like one side of the room and the other, navigating obstacles. But he knows that if I'm in one location, I can do pretty well. I mean, he can see me work, and obviously he knows that I do well. So he knows my limitations. He knows what I'm capable of, and he also knows my struggles and where I need help. So one of the benefits of working with somebody that knows me very well. So I think we both work together pretty well, and we do a lot of great work. So
Well, and actually, I think too, because your dad knows how you work and you do a good job when you're working, that then the people who you work with, they kind of see you
yeah,
do your strongest work because the person you're with isn't treating you like someone who's not capable.
yeah,
They're treating you
exactly.
like an equal.
Yeah, yeah. So we should probably get back on subject a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get back on subject. We kind of digressed there a little bit, but I also think that was pretty valuable information just to talk through some of those points that we had.
Well, I do, because the thing is, it sounds like you guys, I mean, everybody's kind of in the same boat, and I feel like it's interesting too sometimes, like from a guy's perspective,
Hmm.
because I think there's different expectations sometimes on men. Juan wrote, I think Matt is going to get a lot more requests to move or carry stuff now. LOL.
Yeah.
I know next time we see
Uh-huh.
people, they'll be like, hey, Matt, move all this junk for us.
You know what? That's kind of a funny point because it seems like people doubt my abilities, but yet when they need something heavy moved, the first person they ask is me.
It
Have you
is like
noticed
my
that?
dad will like wait to like have like salt brought in or like heavy stuff he doesn't want to do for like Matt to get there, which Matt really does want to do.
Yeah, I don't mind helping at all.
Yeah,
Like,
he
I don't mind
wants
at
to
all.
help.
Yeah. So, getting back to the social gathering and the anxieties of it from yesterday. So, talking kind of through the day. So, after we eat, we always play a game. We've been doing this for about 20 years. And what we do is everybody brings just a couple gifts, like really cheap gifts, and you wrap them and you kind of just throw them in the middle of the room in a big pile. And everybody gathers around in a circle. And then you kind of go around the room with these pie tins and dice. And every time you roll doubles, you can go choose a gift out of the middle. So that's kind of the outline of the game. But anyway, so we've been playing this game for quite a few years. And I was able to play it independently for, no, I don't know, probably the first 14 or so years. Right? Yeah,
I
probably
don't know. I
14.
wasn't
You
there.
weren't there. But yeah, for a while anyway, for quite a while, I was able to play it independently.
Oh.
And throughout the game, there's kind of a lot of, because a lot of people with 30 people, as you can imagine, everybody's getting up, running around, and there's just kind of a lot of chaos. So I did pretty well. But the last, I don't know, 5-7 years or so, I don't get up out of my spot. I typically have a runner. So it previously used to be my nieces. I would recruit one of them to do all the running for me. When I got doubles, I'd have them go fetch me a gift. But now I have Corey do it. And I'm still able to participate in the game, but again, I feel like I'm kind of just sitting on the sidelines, halfway participating. Like I roll the dice, somebody else looks at them for me to see if I have doubles, and then when I do, somebody gets up and runs out and grabs a gift for me. So I'm still able to participate, but again, I still feel like I'm a little bit left out because it's a little bit difficult. 'Cause it's a really fun game, but I feel like all I'm doing is just sitting there, just like rolling dice.
Well, and like sometimes like the other day, it was yesterday, like I was running to grab a present and Matt's brother was running to grab a present and we like collided. Like we both were looking completely the opposite way and like we completely collided and like fell over each other. But like Matt didn't know what
Yeah.
happened. Like everyone was like laughing
Everyone's
and like
roaring,
acting like it
laughing.
was so funny because it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
But like Matt, then when I got back, it was like, oh Matt, this is what happened.
Like a
And
minute
then
later.
it was funny to him, but it was funny like after, and so
Yeah.
that's hard. Yeah, so that's hard.
Do some of you find that, like in this situation where something happens and it's funny, everybody else around is laughing, and then when someone actually interprets what happened and they tell you like a minute later, do you find that it's maybe not funny? I'm just curious because a lot of the times when Corey tells me like actually what happened, it's not really that funny anymore because it's beyond like the laughing point. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The other thing I want to go back a step because there was a lot of really good conversation about like people wanting to help and people feeling like other people are sort of making them feel like they can't help.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone come across a solution on how to make that more successful or like how to, do you know what I'm trying to say, Matt?
Can you elaborate a little
Yeah,
bit?
I'll elaborate quick. So like if you feel like all the guys are going out to like do something
Okay.
and you want to be included but you don't really know how, like has anyone come up with a solution on how to make that more successful, like or to make those types of situations better?
That's a good question.
Like so everybody's in the situation and
Yeah.
feels this way, like they can't really help or do what they want to do because people are kind of discluding them and it's a situation that maybe is a little harder for them, but it doesn't mean they can't participate. So I'm curious if anyone has a solution for like how to make that situation less awkward or better. That's my question.
That's a good question. Yeah, I would
And
definitely
actually,
be interested to hear.
That would be a good thing
video.
if people know.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that as well. If anybody's found a solution for that, or I don't know. I honestly don't even know what the solution
Unless
would
if
be.
we just have a big holiday party with all of you guys.
That would be awesome.
And then
That'd be really
definitely
cool.
need help setting up.
The cool
and
thing
we'll
about
definitely
that,
need help taking down.
yeah, and the cool thing about that is there wouldn't be any explaining to do. Everybody would get it. Everybody would understand. We'd all understand each other. I think it'd be fun.
As long as we have
That'd be
plastic, we
really
just need
cool.
plastic glasses.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Yep, just plastics. And we'd be good, right?
Right.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Mhm.
Like, I just feel like that would be so fun if everybody could like get together somehow. We always talk about that. Like
Mhm.
that would be so cool. I mean, this is a little like getting together, but we kind of are the chatters,
Right. Mhm.
that we're talking out loud.
Right. But if we could
So,
figure out a way to get everybody together in person somewhere, somehow,
like if Matt was a billionaire, then
I
we could
just
fly everybody
bring everybody
to like
somewhere.
a cool event, and then it could be like,
Called it a cruise ship,
yeah,
and we just cruise around the Caribbean with all of our people.
that'd be super cool.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that would be like so cool. That's something we talk about like kind of a lot, is like how fun that would be. So, anyways,
Any more comments?
no more
Questions?
comments, no more questions.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Yeah. So, any other points you think I should hit on from that you observed yesterday? Like,
Oh, Matt, Marwan says he wishes that we would become a billionaire.
Thanks,
that you
Marwan.
become a billionaire. That would be super awesome. Yeah. I don't think so. And then Rizwan wrote totally amazing. Thank you, Rizwan.
thanks, Rizwan.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that
Okay.
kind of covers it.
Yeah.
Like that it's, I guess, did you find any ways to combat any of the, and then Carrie wrote, I'm down for the cruise.
Nice.
Good. We have a taker.
Thanks,
And then we
Carrie.
get to meet little Pablo and other Pablo.
And Big Pablo.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I don't know. I guess just like if anyone has any solutions for anything, or Matt, if you like, I guess like I think that Matt kind of how he does the social situation is when it gets really loud and chaotic, we find a quieter room to go to that's a little less chaotic for a short time, and then go back into the crazy atmosphere. And then if we kind of plant ourselves and have people come to us, that's a little easier than us being the movers. And Carrie wrote, I think maybe the only way is just educating another person on a personal level. I think actually that is true. Actually, I kind of think that Matt making these YouTube videos has helped his family a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because like Matt used to never ever ever talk about his little vision, and people would always like show him pictures on their phone of stuff, and like Matt would just be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool," and I'm like thinking Matt can't see that, but it's hard to be like, "Oh hey guys, I can't see anything."
As of a
You
couple
know?
years ago, I started just telling people. They'd be like, "Oh, hey, check out this picture," and I'm like, "I can't see pictures."
And then they'd be like, "Well, what if we turn the color or make
What
it
if we
bigger?
make it bigger?
Like, what if we make it bigger? Or like, what if I hold it closer? Or what if I make it brighter?"
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just be like, "Oh yeah," or sometimes you'd be like, "Yeah, I got nothing."
Still can't see.
Yeah, but I feel like like him doing the YouTube videos has actually helped people a ton, like really understand it. And I think people are just so good in his family at like reaching out to take his hand to say hello, or like, I'm coming in for a hug. Juan said, yeah, I tend to go to another room to decompress during a big family gathering and then go back to the crowd. I feel like that's worked really well for you too.
I agree with that.
Because it's
a good
loud
point, Juan.
too, and I think, I mean, don't you feel like you're sensitive about loud stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know if that's a low vision thing or if that's just you.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with the low vision thing, but yeah, loud situations are definitely difficult, especially when somebody walks up and I'm not sure who it is, they don't identify themselves, and I'm trying to recognize their voice, especially if it's a voice from somebody that I haven't seen in a couple of years. Makes it really difficult. A loud background, a voice that isn't very familiar to me, and trying to figure out who that person is, it makes it tough.
Yeah, especially when people are shouting from one person to the other, and like a kid is making loud noise, and then you're trying to identify a voice you haven't heard in 6 months. It's like, oh,
Right. So I'd be interested to know, for all of you, do you go to a lot of social events? Do you typically try to avoid them? Do you have anxiety leading up to it or when you're there? I'd also be interested to know too, if you So if you're someone who previously had vision and it's been decreasing a little bit throughout the years, were you previously an extrovert? And then as your vision kind of declines more, are you turning more into an introvert? I don't know if that's even a thing, but I'd
Hmm.
be interested to know, like, were you really outgoing and kind of like a social person and getting out there talking to everybody, and then as it becomes a little bit more difficult because of the limitations due to your vision, are you finding that you're becoming a little bit more of an introvert because of, the situation of low vision?
Hmm.
Do you
My
think?
question would be, I agree with you on that, but I have a question too. Let's see here. Rizwan wrote, okay, Matt and Corey, what's the plan for the new year? We'll answer that really quick. But I have a quick question. I was wondering what social situations are good for you guys. Like if you like to go and do stuff or whatever. Like what social, what type of social things like do you really enjoy, and like what works really well?
Hmm. So I'll actually answer that question really quick. What I find is best for me is a small group of anywhere between 2 and like 5.
I feel like you do really well in 2 to 5.
Yeah, in small groups like that, I feel like I can do really well. And the reason that I can, and I feel like I can actually be myself, which is so, like, it's really cool to me
It's
to be
really
able to be
fun.
myself. I can actually talk and be a human rather than just being
And like
like,
be funny and stuff.
yeah, rather than just being like a statue in the corner that doesn't talk or do anything. I just stand
Hmm.
or sit there. And the reason that I can do well is because I can actually track people. I can pay attention to where everybody is. So if I hear two voices to my right that sound like, X and Y, and there's 5 people total, including me, that means process of elimination. There's 2 other people, and they have to be, blank and blank.
Especially if like there's 2 girls and 2 guys.
Yeah, so it makes it easy that when there's a smaller group like that, because I can always track people. In big social gatherings like there were yesterday with 33 people, there's people moving all about everywhere. There's kids everywhere. People are talking. People are coming, they're going, and always moving about. Nobody's actually sitting down, actually stationary. So it makes it really hard to track people when everybody's just always moving. So I think that's another reason why I don't really talk to many people, because I never know who's by me. So, for example, yesterday, one of my cousins came up and greeted me, and she has her boyfriend he was with, and I don't even know if he was there or not. I just kind of I just assumed he was there, and I was like, hey, Kevin. I don't know if he was there or not.
I don't
I just
remember.
assumed that he was standing there next to her, and I think he actually replied maybe. But I think I maybe got it right, and that he actually was there. But sometimes I'll do that, and I figured, you know what? It's my family. They'll probably understand, especially this cousin. She's awesome. She actually watches a lot of the videos too, and
Mhm.
she's given me just a ton of advice and support here on the channel too. So I really appreciate it. But so especially her, I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna throw it out there. If he's there, cool. If he's not, whatever. She'll completely understand.
Mhm. Other people are commenting too. Um, Andrew wrote, tomorrow me and the family are going to an evil place called SeaWorld, and I'm not looking
Oh
forward
gosh.
to it. LOL. I am jealous, but I can see where, like, honestly, SeaWorld,
Yeah.
like, watching a show, like, would be.
Completely visual.
It's like, oh, fun, I heard water splash. Like, and
Yeah.
people be like, oh my gosh, that was so cool.
Right.
And by the time they try and explain it to you, you're like, yeah, okay, that was like 4 minutes ago.
Right.
And
Yeah.
maybe you have a little better vision than that, but I know that would be challenging for Matt.
Yep.
Although I'm kind of jealous because SeaWorld's pretty cool. Let's see here. Carrie wrote, oh yeah, I used to pretend I saw something and laugh along, but now I'm usually more open and ask what the heck happened.
Yeah.
Marwin wrote, in terms of like the group size that works for him, he wrote none or 5 or 6 people.
None. I like it, Marwan.
That's actually kind of like Matt.
Yeah.
Carrie wrote, I really like small gatherings.
Okay.
Andrew wrote, when I was cited, I was king, big man on campus. Now I struggle to find a way. You know what? I feel like that would be really hard if you really did have that, when you really had that like identity of like somebody who just was like totally had their game together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really hard.
That is.
Let's see here. Rizwan wrote voice detection movies on Oh Hello There, Hi Kevin. Let's see here. Juan wrote, I've always been an introvert, but I'm getting more confident. And to be honest, my O&M training and making connections with other blind/visually impaired community on and offline has helped me get out more.
Mm-hmm.
And then Courtney. Hi, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
Hi.
Hello.
She said, I feel like when I go out now, people think I'm stuck up or like rude now because I won't see them waving.
Oh,
Oh, that's Matt. You feel
Yeah.
that way too. You felt that way especially previously.
still do.
Yeah.
You know, people wave, they smile, they hold
Even
their hand
like if
out
they
to
say
shake a
hi
hand.
and you don't know they're talking to you.
Yeah.
I mean, that can happen.
Well, that happened a few times yesterday. People were talking to me, and I honestly didn't even know. I just heard a lot of noise and someone talking, and I didn't know. And then Corey would like elbow me or hit me or something, or be like, "Matt."
I
And
wouldn't
I'd be
like, I wouldn't
no,
hit
she
him
went,
like.
no, she just like nudged me, and I'd be like, "What?" And she's like, "He's asking you a question," and it's like, "Oh, I didn't know."
Oh, that did happen a few times
It did
yesterday.
happen, and because I don't know that somebody's looking at me.
Because
so
unless
again,
if they say Matt, blah blah
Right.
blah blah blah, like he just assumes they're talking to the guy next to him because that's who he was talking to.
right, and then there was also a couple times yesterday where I thought someone was talking to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah," blah, 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 blah," and they're like, and they were talking to someone
so
else,
awkward.
and it's so embarrassing.
I mean, like it's such an honest, easy mistake. But I
Yeah.
always feel bad in those situations because it's like, oh darn it, like it's hard.
Yeah, it's
Tiffany,
even more embarrassing when you do that with strangers, which I've
like
done.
at the grocery store or something.
Yeah, or the yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what Tiffany said something.
Tiffany wrote, but you know what? I think it's good to get that out there, even though it's uncomfortable to talk about.
Yeah.
Tiffany wrote, I was born blind, but I think I've always been kind of an introvert. Small groups are fine because I can just be myself and move around when I need to without bumping into somebody. I think that's another reason you like small groups too.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's a great point. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that.
And then Andrew wrote, once, like recently, I grabbed to a total stranger. I normally grab my wife's shoulder or one of my kids' shoulders for guidance. Almost got knocked out, lol. That's actually kind of funny. Because can you imagine like a man like grabbing your shoulder? You'd be like, what the heck's going on? But
See-
you know what? That can totally happen.
Yeah.
Especially if your family member was supposed to be right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? What are you supposed to do?
Yeah. And I find, Andrew, one point to that, and I don't want to sound like your mother, but
Who?
someone would say this to me, Andrew, but if you had your cane in that type of situation, when you touch that other person, like when you put your hand on another person, they would have seen the cane and they would have understood. So it would have potentially saved
Matt
you from
has,
being
like,
knocked out.
Never had his cane with in those situations except
Right.
at the airport, so he's like the last person who should talk about
Right.
that. Do you use a cane? I'm curious, Andrew, and this is personal. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have a cane? Because I don't.
He does.
You do.
We've had this conversation.
Have you? Okay, because
Yep.
I just all of a sudden couldn't remember if that was a thing.
Yep.
That's
He's
part
like
of-
me. He doesn't like to use it.
Okay, maybe that's why I couldn't remember.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Um,
There was another point I was going to make. I don't
Okay.
remember, though.
and Andrew confirmed he does use a cane.
Okay.
Good
Do
for
have
you.
More comments?
No
Questions?
more comments. I think that's it so far.
Mm-hmm.
This has been a really fun discussion. I'm so glad that
Yeah.
everybody could make it. We didn't give any notice.
Not really.
He only uses his cane in crowded places.
Okay.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Do you use it more for ID as an ID cane, or do you use it like at SeaWorld? You'll use it. Okay. And
Good choice.
do you use it more as an ID cane, or are you able to like get around with a cane? And then Carrie wrote, Andrew, I've done similar to Uber. I thought it was Uber, but it wasn't. Oh, that would be awkward because you tried to get into somebody's car who
You got
wasn't
in-
an Uber driver.
Yeah.
Huh. You know what though? I am so like I just think it's so awesome that you guys go out and like do all. I mean,
I feel like all of
mistakes
you.
happen, but I'm so proud of everybody.
Yeah.
Because I know from like watching Matt how hard it is to do stuff.
Mm-hmm. But I have to say, all of you seem far more brave than I am. A lot of you are talking about things that you do that like give me anxiety just thinking about even trying.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it
it's
just makes
so
me feel like I
good.
should get out there and try to do a little bit more and be a little more independent.
You know what? Everybody's got to do it at their own pace.
Yeah.
I think that it's just really cool to hear from everybody because it's like hard to imagine like Matt doing some of the things you guys talk about, but like
Mm-hmm.
he can because you guys
All of us can.
Everyone can. It's just
Exactly.
like it'll be so cool someday when it's time. Let's see here. Juan wrote, this is why I take my cane to the grocery store so people won't try to knock me out if I've been into them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andrew said that he uses it more for an ID, like to say like, watch out, here I come.
Yep.
So that's what we do at the airport. It's
Yeah.
so much better if we do,
You have to.
you know.
In some situations, you just have to have the cane.
And Carrie wrote, you need to talk to Pablo, Matt. You know what? You probably do.
Mm-hmm.
that'd probably be a really good connection to make.
Yeah.
So
That'd be an interesting
yeah, that would be really
conversation.
interesting. And Rizwan wrote, Google Assistant to call someone in direct sunlight is very good. An introvert color when browsing and using phone really helps a lot. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good to know. And then Andrew wrote, so how you feel if you don't want to, then don't do it. One day you'll get fed up and start doing more. I think that's probably kind of what happens.
That's a good point because that's exactly how it works. You just get to the point where it's like, I'm done. I'm so sick of being trapped.
Mm-hmm. And then once you do it, I bet you feel like, wow, I can do this now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a little bit bigger doors opening.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been an awesome conversation. You guys.
Thanks for all the feedback and input. It's been really fun having this conversation and just
we've
kind of
missed
going back and
everyone
forth.
so much.
I know
we feel like we haven't talked to anyone so long.
We're so glad to be able to do a live stream and just connect with everybody again like this. It's so fun.
Yeah, every time we get done with a live stream, we feel so much more pumped and so much better. It's just crazy. Mm-hmm. And Andrew, open your doors, Matt. You know what? I will make a live stream and just tape Matt just going out into the world someday. Mm-hmm. And we'll all be like, there Matt goes, doing his thing out in the world. And I'll just be bawling my head off like a proud wife. Right. I probably will be, actually.
Yeah.
And Carrie wrote, I'm Filipino, so that Asian cultures kind of don't speak out and don't complain. Pablo just bursts in with his cane and just speaks out for what he wants. That is so cool. Marvin wrote, I hate something about social gatherings when you tell them I can't see and they told you to change your glasses and why your glass is so thick and so light and not thick. People are...
That's so rude. That's
rude.
So mean.
God.
That's the thing, though. That's what most people think, though. I found that it's really hard to use the words visually impaired. It seems like nobody understands that. So I always use the word blind because... I feel like most people are a higher percentage of people actually understand the word blind. Because when you say you're visually impaired, they're like, well, have you tried glasses? Have you tried LASIK? Yeah.
Well, darn. No one's ever suggested that to me
right.
when I went to my retinal specialist and they told me I wasn't going to be able to see.
Yeah. And then they suggest LASIK. And it's like, what do you think?
But you know what, Matt? I actually think, though, that you weren't comfortable saying blind until pretty recently.
Yeah.
It's a comfort level thing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Carrie wrote, it was pretty difficult for me in the beginning. Rizwan wrote, favorite channel, favorite people. Thanks, Rizwan.
Thanks, Rizwan.
And Andrew wrote, you guys are awesome people. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. You're so nice. Yeah. This is great.
Yeah, this is really cool. So, yeah, I hope that kind of this video and putting myself out there, just sharing with you my experiences from yesterday and showing you that, yep, I still struggle being around my family. Even though they're people that I know and I'm very...
love you unconditionally.
Yeah, I mean, one-on-one or in a group of anywhere between just up to 5 or 6 people, with any of those people that were there yesterday, I'd love it. I'd have a great time with them. But in a big group like that, they make my heart go crazy. My heart hurts.
Mm-hmm.
From anxiety.
Does get really anxious leading up to these things.
Yeah. It's difficult. But it's when they're all there together, I really struggle. But any one of them, one-on-one, awesome conversations, really great time. So it's really weird.
And Juan said, if I had $1 for every time I heard the LASIK suggestion.
Juan.
You could, because then you know what? You'd be a billionaire.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then I think it's always kind of funny, if I tell somebody that Matt's blind, who doesn't know him, somebody I meet, and then they'll say, so can he drive?
Oh, that's another classic.
And it's always I'm going to start it over and say that he's blind.
Right.
And some people who are... I think some people who are legally blind can drive, though. I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah.
I think some do.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the better
with
way to
corrective
say that.
lenses.
With corrective lenses.
Yeah.
Let's see
that's
here.
Not the same, but okay.
No, I don't know. Yeah. Let's see here. Marwan wrote, they are awesome, the best couple I know, and I'm lucky to be friends with them. Oh,
thanks,
gosh,
Marwan.
Marwan, you're the best. And Andrew wrote, LASIK, I wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be nice.
We would just have a channel called Billionaire then, because there would be no need.
Right. Well, if there's any last comments or questions or anything else any of you want to ask or mention, feel free. But otherwise, we'll probably wrap this up, right?
And Carrie wrote, they can use bioptics. And Andrew wrote, having shock absorbers on your cane will explain the driving.
Yeah.
And then Carrie wrote, but with limitations. They can use bioptics with limitations. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again for all of you for being here. This was just really cool to have this conversation and the interaction. It's been a while, so we really appreciate it. And we always look forward to these live streams. It's so much fun connecting with all of you.
I would say Matt is like more animated and excited talking to you guys today than
No, all the time.
like
I'm way more excited to talk to all of you than I'm ever
like,
excited to talk to Corey.
Well, I was thinking your family.
Oh. That's what I meant.
Oh,
I'm kidding. No, we have fun with this. It's so much fun to see all of you. And hopefully someday we can all get together somewhere, somehow. That would be so cool. I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah, that would be super cool. People are kind of writing, Rizwan wrote, take care of itself.
Thanks, Rizwan. Great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Andrew wrote, I didn't get it. Did you? LOL. Courtney wrote, hope you all had a great Christmas. Happy New Year. Carrie
Thanks,
wrote,
Courtney.
love you guys
Happy New
with
Year
a
too.
heart.
Thanks,
Marwan
Tiffany.
wrote, okay, have a good night and sweet dreams. Bye. I always so happy to see you.
Thanks, Marwan. You're so
Rizwan
nice.
wrote, bye, Corey, bye, Matt. Take care of yourself.
Bye, Rizwan. Thank you.
And Andrew wrote, I'm getting power steering rack installed on my cane tomorrow.
Dude, where do you get these one-liners?
I know. You're the best.
Andrew, you're funny.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for being here.
Have a good night, you guys.
Anybody else who didn't comment, thanks for watching this. We really appreciate your support. It just means so much to us.
Yeah, this is like so invigorating. And I just feel like this like really lifts Matt up and me. It lifts both of us up for like a long time. And Andrew, I'm being silly. We are too, Andrew. Have fun at SeaWorld tomorrow.
Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't get knocked out.
Yeah. Yeah. Stay away from things that are really big that have a bunch of sharp teeth.
Yeah.
That swim.
All right. Thanks again, everybody. It's great to see you. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate this.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye now. See you later. See you soon, actually.